welcome back to the Miscellaneous Debris Podcast with me, your host, the Mad Chatter, Ryan M.K. Thank you once again for joining, listening, watching, all the good stuffs. Please do not forget to follow me on the Twitter or on the gram at RMK Madness. I'm on YouTube, the tubes, obviously, if you're watching. And that's under Mad Chatter Ryan MK. So please check out my stuff, like, follow, subscribe, download all the good stuffs, all of the each. Please. And I will give to you my mad thoughts for your entertainment, really. And if you're into football, with the football season ramping up and you do a little fantasy foosball, well, don't forget to check out my Fantasy Madness podcast. That's right. And my articles on playerprofiler.com. Nothing new this week. I will have something coming out next week. But if you're into fantasy football, I suggest you follow my accounts as well. I hope everyone survived the week. And did it okay. We here at the Madhouse MK, we survived all right. Many are struggling right now. I mean, we've got our own shit going on, huh? Everybody does. Could be financial issues, health issues. We got some mental stuff going on. This is a crazy time in the world. And now, Michigan has this fucking mosquito virus. They're trying to contain that, among all the other stuff. And then you got Hurricane Sally ripping into the Gulf Coast. Just floods everywhere. Alabama's bad. Florida's bad. In Florida, they were saying some parts they got like 4 months of rain in 4 days. That's fucking crazy. Or was it 4 hours? That's fucking crazy. Just the poor Gulf Coast, it's just getting slaughtered with those hurricanes this year. Hurricane Teddy, I believe, is the name of the next one that may be coming. And the wildfires can continue. Smoke is causing issues. I read an article. Someone from Australia was like, "Hey, America, we've been there with the wildfires. Here's what you can expect." So, people still dealing with consequences of the smoke. I mean, shit, here still in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, still unhealthy air quality. There's potentially massive mudslides coming in California because of these wildfires. Birds are dropping out the sky, which you have to assume the wildfires and the smoke play a part. Apparently, that happened in Australia. You got all this stuff going on. Everybody's just trying to hang in there. And you get some potentially bad news. I mean, it's shitty. A death is always shitty. But an older lady lived a pretty full life. But sad because really a cornerstone in our government, really, she's going to be missed. And that's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 87 years old, died Friday. Now, not only was she, something positive, a beacon of hope, just that, like I said, that rock in our government, now with her gone in her spot, Mitch McConnell is going to push for a vote right away to, of course, get someone that Trump likes in there. And there's consequences to that. Because really, they should wait till after the election. And that was actually her dying wish. Ruth Ginsburg dying was to wait till after the election. Now, that could be weird if Trump were to get reelected. But really, it could cause problems before the election. And really, afterward, if Trump is in there, it's going to make things, essentially, a lot easier for him to get rid of, like, Obamacare. stuff like that. So, we really don't want a Trump person in that position. So this is definitely a bump because, and it's crazy. Mitch McConnell, when the last one died during President Obama's administration, McConnell wouldn't let it happen until after the election. But it's funny that now that Justice Ginsburg is gone and there's an opening and his buddy Trump is in the office, he's more than willing to try and get something to work beforehand. These people. Hermione. What are you doing? It's crazy. So it's crazy that these people right now, and it blows my mind, Republicans and the supporters of them don't even see it. I guess, yes, if you want to look at it, you could say pretty much all politicians inherently are bad, don't do the right things, yes. But I've never seen things be so shitty before. Republican or Democrat. Things are a fucking mess. Our democracy is threatened. And they keep finding these ways, even though it contradicts previous actions, to help and aid Trump. It's just crazy. Now you got Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is someone that I've kind of looked up to because he is someone that questions things. He doesn't settle. I like that because I'm that way. I like to question things, okay? And I appreciate the grind he has, you know? It's not just the comedy. It's the comedy, the podcast, the UFC. He used to do the Fear Factory. Like, dude works his butt off, right? I appreciate that. But I am definitely disappointed in some of the shit he's been saying lately. Because I don't understand how people aren't getting what's going on. This new shit, we're going to get into it, this fucking 1776 commission that Trump is proposing, this is some fascist bullshit right here. And anyone who supports him, still, I say it, he keeps proving the only ones he gives a shit about are his white supremacist, extreme right-wing base. Now, of course, he's going to do little things to try and appeal, like he just gave a bunch of money to Puerto Rico that he's been denying them for a while. Aid, as a matter of fact. And wasn't he calling some of those countries shitholes? Yeah, that sounds like Trump. But there's so much bad about him that I can't understand anyone being on board. And so, you know, maybe I wasn't fond of things that Mr. Joe Rogan said lately, but then he comes out and maybe this is an old quote, but from what I read, Rogan said, as of recent, from what I understand, that he couldn't vote for Biden. He'd rather vote for Trump. And this was Rogan was supporting Bernie. Now I understand Biden isn't great. And ideally, going against Trump, you'd want a much stronger candidate. But we got to go the lesser of two evils here. And if you can't tell which one that is, I don't know that I have any respect for you. Because people are not doing enough to educate themselves. Anyone out there listening, please educate yourself. You don't have to listen to CNN. You don't have to listen to Fox News. You can find information for yourself, and you can find the truth, okay? You can quit listening to bullshit and actually find the truth, okay? And by educating yourself, maybe do some history, you know, a little bit of history refresher, okay? And look at what fascist leaders, dictators do. Look at the kinds of actions, look at the kinds of things they do leading up to, I'm telling you, look at Trump's actions. Compare them to that of fascists and dictators, and you can see why it would be a terrible idea to continue to support Trump. So if Joe Rogan, who again, I've for many years admired, if he really believes it's better to vote for Trump, I don't know. Gonna have to pass from now on, bro. Bro Joe. That's not my bag. That's disappointing, man. That's disappointing. And man and woman, it is disappointing. You can't fucking see, you can't look at the landscape of this country and think 4 more years of Trump in any way, no matter how Biden could potentially be, he can't be as bad as this. Anyone that votes Trump, well, to quote Mr. Rogan himself, isn't fucking paying attention. So, let's get on then
You
to the
suck, you jackass.
Welcome to the Trump dump. Because he sucks. He's a jackass. And we're going to dump all over this motherfucker. Now, I brought up the 1776 Commission. This is, him pulling some executive shit to try and continue his patriotic education. Yes. And basically, he does not want there to be any type of racism taught, because according to him, that's child abuse, teaching racism. He wants to deny there's racism and America was always great. We don't have any fucking problems. Black people haven't had to suffer anything. He claims the 1619 Project, which is a group that focuses on the consequences of slavery and things and the history and how, puts a focus on the Black Americans throughout history, what they've been through, what they've had to fight, what they've overcome. And Trump calls this toxic and un-American propaganda. These are marks of a fascist. Pay attention. Pay attention to history. You will see this. This extreme nationalism is the mark of a fucking fascist. Oh goodness. Fucking Trump. Yeah. But he's still got so many people. And hey, fascist dictators, that's what they do. They manipulate enough fucking people, and that's what he's working on doing. But when it comes to people who can't be manipulated, like in this fucking town hall meeting, he doesn't have shit to say, really. He just kind of bumbles and stumbles around. He claims he upplayed the virus in his actions, even though he downplayed it behind the scenes, verbally, I guess, in action. In action, you said not to wear masks, and you did. Like, what is it, the action that shows that you... Okay. Anyway, he also in this town hall meeting essentially blamed Biden for there not being a national mask mandate. It's like, it's the same shit he's doing with the entire country. Like, you see what's going on in the country? Yeah? You want 4 more years of this? Don't vote for me. If you want to get rid of this, vote for me. Like, dude, you're the one that's running shit while it's like this. But to get rid of it, we should vote for you? Stupidity. He also, he goes after Biden all the time for, his lack of mental fortitude in his age. Even though dude's not that much older than Trump. And yet Trump constantly says stupid shit. He's constantly messing up words. And this is the latest example of him fucking something up by saying the virus, one way it could go away would be through herd mentality. Yes, herd mentality. Yes, that sort of groupthink thing is a herd mentality. Yet that would be one way that the virus will go away on its own. Of course, he's talking about herd immunity, which again, if you look at the numbers, all these Trumpers out there spouting herd immunity, Have you ever looked into that? Do you know exactly what herd immunity is? Because I've went through this before. Let's just say to reach the percentage threshold, to reach herd immunity, well, 6 to 8 million people would die. So if you're okay with 6 to 8 million Americans dying just so we can reach that threshold, then I guess you're okay with how President Trump is handling shit. Me, not so much. That's bullshit. We shouldn't even be as high of a number as we are. It's bullshit. And it's due to the leadership in this country. People, we got to do something. We got to do something. Especially when you got Dr. Robert Redfield, one of the, higher ups at the CDC. He's talking about the vaccine. Now, they may have it sometime relatively, but to have it widely available for all Americans, he's saying like another year. He's saying spring, maybe summer 21. Yeah. And yet our president is like, no, he must have been mistaken by the question. No, that's wrong. That's not right. He must have been mistaken. It's everything he wants to push, anything in his agenda, he'll push. Everything else is either fake news, not real, a mistake. Yeah. It's bullshit. And then you also find out that the U.S. Postal Service and the Department of Health and Human Services had a plan together to distribute 650 million masks around the country to people. Approximately 5 per household is what I read, and that could have done wonders. But the White House, our President Trump, our wonderful, wonderful leader, Mr. Trumpty Dumpty, sat on a wall that he claimed the Mexicans paid for. Trumpty Dumpty and the White House nixed this fucking plan. Why? To avert panic. To avoid panic. He says he's doing all of this to avoid panic. Thousands upon thousands of Americans are fucking dead in this country. And he claims he's done it all wonderfully. I don't think we could ever say this enough, but fuck Trump 1,000 times over. All right, I'm going to try and lighten the mood a little bit. Just a little. Get into a little space talk. It's been a minute since we talked some space. We had the recent finding that, Venus, its atmosphere, contains phosphine gas. Now, the reason this is interesting, pretty much where you find phosphine gas is that it's a byproduct of life. Which leads, of course, scientists to wonder if there is potentially life somehow on Venus. Now, it could be possible, despite that thing is a fucking fiery wasteland. In the atmosphere, could microbials be bouncing around up there? It's very possible, now that they've seen there's phosphine gas in the atmosphere. So, very interesting stuff there. Good read. And also, apparently, Venus is now a Russian planet, because they came out and said so. Because they're dedicating a bunch of shit to studying Venus. But very interesting. And you can, there's some really good stuff. I've often mentioned watching How the Universe Works. That's always a good one. But NASA's Unexplained Files really gets into the weirder stuff in space, right? Like Saturn's moon, Titan. People have long thought, hey, it's kind of like Earth, but the lakes are lakes of methane, not water, and it's rather cold there. But they've come to find out that the sand on Titan, it's basically electrified, right? And they're trying to figure this out because it's moving in the opposite direction. It's going the opposite direction that it should. And they're wondering how it's doing this. And they believe that there's like these giant sandworm monsters that literally feed on the electricity inside the it's amazing. It's insane. Electronic sandworm. You got all sorts of crazy shit happening around Pluto. You got the dwarf planet Ceres that has potentially a subterranean ocean. There could be very large underwater creatures there. Same with Europa, moon of, I believe that's Saturn as well. It could be Jupiter. Is it Jupiter? Good God. How did I forget? But Europa, also subterranean ocean, because with these subterranean oceans, even if it's really cold water, if there's enough warmth to keep the water liquid, there's enough warmth for life. Because you look at the depths of our ocean, that is no place for a human, but there are plenty of creatures down there, large ones. So it's very interesting when you look at all the weird shit that could happen, that's going on in space. I mean, just thinking about exoplanets alone, there's some odd ones. There's one that's essentially made out of diamond. There's another one that essentially rains diamonds. Okay, then you've got ones that like are made. There's one that's made of burning ice. Burning ice. It's like there's just crazy ass planets out there. You hear about the tidally locked ones, and then this one that's just been recently talked about, where basically it's a Jupiter-sized planet, but bigger than Jupiter, and it's orbiting a white dwarf star. So it's much bigger than this fucking star, because a white dwarf star is basically the remnants of a normal star. You know, it as it gets older, it blows up, and then it becomes this core, which is the white dwarf. Shrinks down to this core, and so there really shouldn't be any planets around it, period, let alone this giant. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Space is insane. And that's why I always come back to, people think they know shit. We got to remember, there was a point in time when we thought the earth was flat. Now, some people all of a sudden think that again because they're stupid. But there was a point in time where, if you would have tried to explain a cell phone to someone, they would have burned you on a stake for a witch. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when people don't believe in the possibility of alien life or things like that, it just seems so ridiculous, because it's amazing how much as a species we can learn in 50 to 100 years, and how much we advance. And so to think really that anything's impossible, to think that we know really hardly anything, to think we know as much as we do for certain, just seems to me to be a little narcissistic. Just saying. Because it wasn't that long ago we, again, still thought we were certain about everything, and we were finding out we were wrong about things. I mean, just blows my mind. Blows my mind. And we've also had a lot of reports of the asteroid flybys recently. There's been a lot of them I've read about, right? We got apparently another big one coming day before the election. So that's freaky, spooky. But there's a reason for all of these. See, our sun, our solar system, every 35 million years or so, travels through the central plane of the galaxy. Now, at this central plane is a disk of dark matter. and it's about 35 light years across. And scientists believe that this dark matter disturbs our Oort cloud, and that could potentially send asteroids hurtling towards the planet, specifically Earth. And that is frightening indeed. So maybe I didn't lighten it up as much as maybe I didn't lighten the mood after all. But that's some crazy shit. Now, they've also said this could potentially be connected to the asteroid that took out the dinosaurs. So, again, freaky. But you also have to think we're in a lot better position than we've ever been because of the evolution, the advancement. And NASA, the scientists, they do have lots of ideas on how to deal with these asteroids. And, we could potentially deflect it away, blow it up. Now, chances are we try and blow it up, it's going to become smaller pieces that just are a bunch of tinier problems. But there's the idea you hit it enough to knock it off the path. But there is the possibility that a big enough one is moving fast enough that we don't catch it till a certain time to where the path is direct on enough that there might not be anything we can do. And the thing that bothers me about that, other than the whole Earth would be fucked, humanity would be fucked, what bothers me about that is I wonder if our governments would even fucking tell us. Because, again, if you think about Trump, would he tell us? Because if he told us, wouldn't that incite panic? I don't know. It's spooky. Freaky. Yeah, sorry. Apologies. I really did want to have fun talking about space. And to be honest, I did. I always enjoy talking about space. I love the space, but I don't feel I feel like I lightened the mood in the beginning, and then we got an asteroid talk, and I went and fucked that all up. Oh, goodness. That's all right. I will try, once again, to lighten the mood with another new segment. Yes.
You are one pathetic loser.
So, I got a bit of an idea for a new segment, tentatively called Tweedledum-Dums. Because you got Tweedledee, you got Tweedledum, the whole Mad Chatter, Alice in Wonderland thing. So Tweedledum-Dums. These are just, I've been thinking about this for a few weeks because you see a lot of stupidity going on in the country. And I just figured I'd dedicate a little segment to the stupidity because you see, I often feel as though I'm in a war against stupidity, even more so nowadays than at any other point in time in my life. And so, I needed a segment to discuss stupid people. So here we go. Twiddle-dum-dums. Tweedledee, tweedledum, tweedle. Moving on. Okay, first one up. You got a 5th grader. Got in trouble at school because he was wearing a Hooters mask. His father didn't seem to understand the problem. According to him, it's just a restaurant. This is where we go to eat as a family. I have chocolate cake there. Oh, you're right. It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that that restaurant is named something that's a nickname for titties. You really, would you let your kid go to school with a mask that said tits all over it? Just picture, instead of Hooters, it says tits, okay? Now, then, mister, would you let your son wear that mask to school? Because that's essentially what you're doing. Just saying. Fucking idiots. Just a restaurant. I eat chocolate cake there. Do you? Do you eat chocolate cake there, bro? Next one, we got a pastor in Idaho. Said masks weren't necessary, refused to follow the mask mandate. Well, really, he just kind of left it up to people. And now that dude is in ICU with, oh, yeah, guess what? COVID-19. There's another Kentucky, or another mask protest in spoiler alert, Kentucky. So another large gathering of fucking idiots, maskless idiots, bitching about a mask mandate. Because apparently it's too big of a fucking inconvenience. But really what it is that it's been so fucking politicized that people feel like if they aren't wearing a mask, they're not supporting their beloved, dear, godly Trump. I did actually have to cough there, so that was part of the theatrics and drama with that. Was to get out a cough. But we move on. Massachusetts. There's some parents in Massachusetts who sent their kid to school. I know a lot of this is COVID related, but that's where a lot of the stupidity is reigning today. They sent their kids to school with COVID-19. That caused some problems. They could not be reached for comment. I bet not. Why would you knowingly send your kid to school? Send your kid to school knowing they had, like, assholes or idiots, stupid peoples in general. And then I read that QAnon is really taking hold in the UK. Well, fucking great. Fucking great. And we're going to talk conspiracies a little bit next episode. I thought about it this episode. We're going to hit it up next episode. Because this is really, I've had enough of this shit. I really have. I used to thoroughly enjoy conspiracy theories. And I've talked about this once or twice, and I've bitched about it a lot recently. Because, man, I had fun with conspiracy theories. They were fun. They're not fun anymore because everything's become a fucking conspiracy Everything's become a conspiracy theory now. You see how these people fuck me up? They get me so damn mad. I just... Everything is now. It's so fucking crazy. It is crazy. Crazy out there. So we're going to get into conspiracies next time. But again, as much as I love a good conspiracy theory, these people are ruining it. And in large part because the root of this theory is that there's this huge pedophile ring, things like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally of the belief that, yeah, there could be some shadowy figures working behind the scenes and all of that. But for Trump to come out and his supporters and act like Trump is himself going to be the one to, well, fix it and bring this to justice. Right. Because Trump himself is a sick fuck. There's so much about this that just the whole conspiracy thing, that it's a scary rabbit hole to go down, particularly lately. Because, again, everything is now a conspiracy theory. You cannot even talk to an extreme right-winger or a Trumper because even when you present them with the facts, it's automatically conspiracy theory. When you get them trapped in a corner, they turn to the conspiracy theory. It's all a lie. The facts are a lie. And while I do think there's certain shit throughout history, you can see it in America's own history. You know, Trump sits here and he wants to basically rewrite history to make us not look so bad. But really, that has been done There's a lot of shit left out of our history about when we first came over to this country. When we first, I guess, butted heads with the Native Americans. So, I guess it's not uncommon, but this is just, something has to be done. And again, I've talked about it. America is not, as a nation, we're still fairly young. These other nations have been around for so much longer. And we seem to think we're the cream of the crop despite that. Despite the fact that we're so young and all that. And we've had a good moments as a country. We really have. We've done some good stuff. But we're in the shit now. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes of all this, because it's not over after the election, I don't think. Particularly, if that some bitch Trump gets reelected, get him the fuck out of there. Otherwise, we could all be speaking Russian. He wants to talk about China and all this. It's like, Russia's out here calling a planet its own. Like, what? Like, what do you think he's getting? Ugh. It's crazy. All right. It just, I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's part of the problem with the country right now, is there is such a divide. And the president's done a hell of a job stoking that division. And, he's got his followers, but as good people. As people who do believe in equality, democracy, and all that. We got to vote. We got to continue to fight, and we got to fucking vote. So sure, we can enjoy our football this weekend and our hockey and basketball playoffs and watching TV with the family, hanging out outside, doing what you do. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the things that help you get by. Stay positive, But keep in mind the state of the country and the importance of this election. And let's all try and work on fucking caring for each other more often, a little more. Let's work on that. We need that, okay? All right. That's what I got for you, Madcaps, in this particular episode. But we'll be back once again Monday, Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. Do not forget to follow me on the Twitter at RMKMadness and the Instagram. Check me out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. All of the each. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening, watching, etc., etc. And let's go ahead and close up shop, right?
Game over, man. It's game over.
We're hitting that time, so let's go ahead and do it. Once again, everybody have a wonderful weekend, as wonderful as it can be. And for those of you that are out there struggling, that are dealing with the flooding, that are dealing with the weather, the fires, whatever it may be, hey, you're all in my thoughts, okay? Just remember, stay strong. Human beings are resilient motherfuckers. We just got to keep fighting. No matter what shit you're in, keep fighting. We're going to find a way out this bitch, right? Right. All right. So, yes, try and enjoy the weekend. Continue to educate yourself. Be prepared for this election. Be prepared to vote. And let's get this fucking dictator, fascist, Cheeto-eating asshole out of the office. I shouldn't complain about Cheetos, because I love me some Cheetos. So I shouldn't talk shit about Cheetos, which I wasn't. I really wasn't. Cheetos, I love you. Oh, shit. Okay, as always, much love to you all. Hang in there. We're going to make it through this A-okay. We're going to make it through. As always, I already said that. I already said the much love to what I need to go. I need food. Food is what I need. I know I always go there If I start messing up towards the end of the pods, I start getting into I just need some foods. But I really do. It's been some hours since I've had some food, so I really think that would help out a lot. So I'm going to go eat. And we'll call it quits so I can go do All right. That's what we got for you. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll chat again soon. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay mad. Ta-ta for now.